Welcome everybody to the Kingdom Institute Pensacola. First Monday in February 2019. Here we are. Thank you for being here. I hope you're not hungover from yesterday's Super Bowl game. That's another football game I did not watch. I was in the house.
Amen.
Freedom Church.
Like the rest of the saints.
So that's fine. That's fine. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you, Facebook friends that are here. I know that very often, after this goes up on our Facebook channel and also on our YouTube channel, we get folks tuning in from Africa, from Asia, from Europe, of course, all over the North Americas. So this is not just a local. We're tiptoeing into the global. And tonight, we'll show you a little bit about what that looks like from the Kingdom Institute perspective. I want to say a quick word of prayer before I go into, I pray, this abbreviated message tonight. I pray, and you pray for the abbreviated message too. Father, thank you. Thank you that we can come into your house, this Pensacola house of prayer, and experience your presence. And Lord, as this impartation is released, Father, I just ask it to be your words, not mine, your vision, not mine, for your kingdom to come, for your will to be done on earth as it is in heaven. Thank you for the men and women here, the ones that are watching digitally. And Lord, may there be something that connects to them in the Spirit that will help them take the next step toward being the person you desire them to be in the marketplace around the globe. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Tonight, I'm led to do just to share with you a very simple structure on what I suggest. This is one of the Selahs. I suggest that in the marketplace, particularly for marketplace folks, this could be for people in the Faith Mountain and the Family Mountain as well. But as you know, what we do, we focus on the 5 marketplace mountains, as we call them. Business and finance and economics is one. And another one is government. And another one is education mountain. Another one is the media mountain, social media and all that. And the other is arts and entertainment. Football is entertainment. Those are the 5 marketplace mountains we suggest. And that's what really we hone in at TKI upon. And when you're in those mountains, I'm going to suggest to you there's really 5 different types of places you can get counsel or counselors. I don't mean psychological. I'm talking about getting someone who is an expert in something to help you with what you need now in the marketplace. All right? I'm not talking about psychiatrists or psychologists. Maybe we need that. No, I'm talking about marketplace. You've got an issue with how you're working, where you're working, how you're getting things done or not done, and you need some help. Has anybody ever been there? Okay. These 5 phrases I'm going to share with you are all convoluted. You may use one of them and mean another, and I may have another definition. I'm just going to suggest to you, figure out what you might need, whenever it might be, and have a clear picture of going to someone and asking them, I need your help in, and this is what I mean by that, and then they'll be able to tell you, I can help you or I can't, because we can get all kinds of confusing messages. So this is a very simple way. I will be writing on this in the future on my blog, on my business blog, and we'll talk about that later. Here are the 5 kingdom counsels, 5 types of people that you may be at some time in your career needing help from. The first, and these are in no particular order except the 5th one. The last one is what TKI does. All right, so I'm saving the best for last. All right. The first is a mentor. Have you ever said to yourself, I need a mentor? Well, let me suggest to you this. A mentor is someone, man or woman, that just helps you with some of the areas you need growth in. You need professional growth. Typically, a mentor is someone 2 or 3 levels ahead of you in an organization, or someone who's been down that road before, in your career, in your area. You're getting mentorship. These are some of the landmines to look for, so that they're giving you mentorship and how to move up that mountain professionally. So a mentor is typically within your own profession. Now you can disagree with that, but I just want to distinguish 5 different things. That's one avenue, getting someone already in your lane at a more successful, higher level can you teach me how you do that? That's a mentor. All right? A second type of help is a trainer. A trainer. Now, when you seek someone training or go to a training class of some type, really you're talking about developing a skill set that you don't have. Or maybe upgrading a current set of skills that you have. Training is skill specific for the most part. Maybe we need to focus on communication skills, listening and sending messages, or maybe we need to focus on leadership skills. What's it mean to be a leader? That's not mentoring. It's helping you develop a stronger skill set that your mentor may say, you need to go get some skills in this. Now, the third, and this is where some of the confusion is, I believe, but I hope this helps clarify, is a coach. Wait a minute. Isn't a coach and the trainer the same? May I suggest no. A coach and a trainer are not the same. A coach is someone that helps you maximize your skills. A trainer teaches you that skill set. But a coach says, okay, let's take that and let's, if you will, put it on spiritual steroids, if you will. Now, can people be both a coach and a trainer? Yes. But sometimes we need training and sometimes we need coaching. See how this might help you think, oh, this is what I need now. So you're much more clear on who you might need to go after, if anybody, at any place in your career. The fourth is this. The fourth is a different type of counselor. You might need a mentor or a trainer or a coach. Sometimes you're going to need an advisor. Now, what for us tonight is an advisor? What do they focus on? An advisor is a strategist. For tonight's purposes, an advisor is a strategist. It's someone that understands the strategy of going where you might need to go, the dynamics of your marketplace, how they interact with one another, and helps you clarify the next step that seems to be a good strategic process. That's not really training. It's not really coaching. Maybe a little bit of mentoring, but it's very specific. Sometimes organizations need advisors. Sometimes you're just called consultants. I like the word advisor. Because I think in the marketplace, consultants cost you something, advisors get you somewhere. I think there's a difference in the way executives see those words. But there's a fifth one. There's a fifth type of counsel, a type of professional, if you will, help that you might seek sometime. And this is the backbone of TKI. Sometimes you need a discipler. Now, what do I mean by discipler? Very simple. A discipler is a shepherd. A shepherd walks along with his sheep day to day, helps keep them protected and warm, keeps the wolves away, right? Keeps the wolves away, gives them guidance in life. In life. A shepherd. Jesus was the good. Was he ever called the good mentor? Or the good trainer? Or the good coach? Or the good... Now, he did all of that, but he was really known as the good shepherd. In fact, I suggest this to you. The backbone of Jesus' mission on this earth is that Jesus discipled the disciplers that were going to disciple the nations. Let me say that again. Jesus discipled the disciples who are to disciple the nations. Now I'm going to repeat that one more time because this is different than traditional religion. This is different than, and this is going to step on some traditional religion toes. I'm talking about marketplace. What did Jesus do? He went into the marketplace and he took disciples. He created disciples. Jesus called 4 disciples, the fishermen. Do you know that most of the disciples were in their early 20s? Some might have been in their teens. You can read a lot of different folks, but you think about it. These were very, very chronologically young people. They may have been in their late 20s, early 30s, but they weren't like me. I'm not going to tell you how old I am. They weren't like me. 43 is good. That was my baseball high school pitching number. So 43, I like number 43. Okay, that's good. I'll take it. I received that one. Thank you, Dan. He discipled the disciplers to disciple the nations. Turn to Matthew 28, if you have your Bibles with you. Now, I could give you all kinds of discipleship verses. Mark 1, 16 to 18, he said, follow me. He was recruiting disciples. Matthew 4, 18, 4 fishermen. They were marketplace dudes. John 1, 35, John the Baptist. Some of John the Baptist's disciples followed Jesus. There's discipleship all over the place. But I want you to turn to Matthew 28. And I want to make a point that I just want you to consider, all right, just to think on. Now, this could cause some real debate in theological circles. But I want to point to this, what Jesus was doing, discipling the disciples to disciple the nations. Should we emulate Jesus?
Yes.
What do you think we're trying to do here? Are we trying to be your trainer all the time? Or your coach all the time? Or your advisor? Or you... Dan and I have taken on the mantle of saying we would be very willing to step in as your discipler. If you think what we've done over the last year and a half, that's exactly what we've been attempting to do. And that's becoming more clear. Matthew 28, verse 19, the Great Commission. And when we have several evangelists in the house, I just ask you gentlemen just to say law and see what Jesus said. Not what the church has interpreted, but what Jesus said. Jesus said, go therefore and make disciples, what's the next word? Of the nations. He didn't say in the nations. In the nations would be evangelism. Absolutely. Of the nations is everything. That includes evangelism, but just not exclusively church planting. Make disciples of the nations, yes, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, teaching them, here we go, to what? Observe all the things I've taught you, trained you, as I have done. I'm the good shepherd, and I'm creating more good shepherds. So discipling, and that's exactly what we're doing. You're saying, well, how do I, sitting in here, how am I discipling nations? You're discipling the nation you live in this community right now. In just a minute, Dan's going to share a story if he wants to on how he was discipling someone in the government mountain, in the military mountain, just last Thursday. A great example. Maybe we're not called to Costa Rica. Maybe we're not called to Nepal. But you're called right here to disciple this nation where you're planted. So you are a discipler of a nation. You are a discipler of a nation. And as this starts going out through Facebook and other things, and yes, the app is almost done. When we start getting this out globally, TKI, in essence, our mission is to disciple the disciplers who will disciple the nations. To transform, we like to use the word in marketplace, transform the nations through the marketplace. But really it's discipleship. By planting hubs, just like we have here. And our vision is many more than just this one. So what we're learning, and with your help, we're learning how to best put that together so we can take it to the nations, to disciple the nations. That's what TKI really, really is at the heart of it. And you're watching the egg being birthed by those of you here.
Come on.
By those of you here. Now, what can I do then? What can we do to help you as if you might need discipleship sometimes? Facebook friends, and for all of you here, if you scroll down on the Facebook feed just before this, you're going to see a PDF listed. And if you've got the email, if you're part of the TKI tribe here, you got an email with a PDF of this listed. I want to hand out to you what I use in my business, because what I use in my private business, I call it a discipleship map. Isn't that interesting for private business folks? I call it a discipleship map. Dan, would you mind handing these out? Everybody get one copy. You will have on the Facebook post and also on the email that I sent you, you'll have this PDF. And let me explain on the PDF why it's so important that you get this. The PDF, when you open it up on your computer, on your laptop, is fillable and savable. What that means, you open it up, and if there's something here you want to type in, you type it in, and it will be saved. You save it under your, this is, Jim's. This is Jim's map. Save it under any title you want in your computer system. You can go back and modify it anytime you want to. Need some more?
If you have it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is what you would print out if you do no typing on it. But if you do type, you'll be able to fill this in yourself. Now this is a seed. I'm just sowing a seed.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. I'm sowing a seed. We're going to really get into seed sowing here. I'm going to have 3 weeks in a row. In fact, one of the first 3-part series that we're going to be releasing here is on sowing and reaping. And why that is what I say, and I'll let you know right now what I call the kingdom principle. There's a lot of them, but I believe there's a very strong case that the kingdom principle is sowing and reaping. What I'm doing here is sowing. You understand that there will be a reaping from this somehow for me, right? Now, let's look at how this is laid out. And if you go ahead and download it on you Facebook fans, go ahead and come on back. You won't miss that much. You see 3 major parts. You see discipleship goals, professional goals, and activations. Let me give you just a very quick coach up now. This is a little coach up on how you may decide, if you so wish, to use this. Here's a caveat. You don't have to use this. Use whatever works for you. This is just another tool in your toolbox. This may work, this may not work for you. Some of my clients I work with, they don't like using this. Fine, we'll find something else. All right. Now, discipleship goals. Do you know that Luke 2:52 is the only verse in the Bible that gives us any hint as to what Jesus did between the ages of 12 and 30?
Yep.
What did he do those 18 years? Well, looking back, we know he was in the marketplace. He was working with his daddy, right? But Luke 2:52, because we've taught on that several times, Luke 2:52 says, this is how Jesus grew. He grew in wisdom. That means intellectual. Not only biblical wisdom, but marketplace wisdom. He grew in wisdom. And stature, that's physically. Strong physically. In favor of God, that's spiritually. And in favor of man, that's relationally. So really what this verse teaches us, between the ages of 12 and 18, as Jesus grew, he grew intellectually, physically, spiritually, and relationally. And this is what I tell my clients. Good enough for Jesus? Good enough for me. It's just that simple. And I better be very careful because I just learned that my pastor, Arnie McCall's watching right now. So I better be very careful on my biblical interpretation, Pastor. Yes, my good friend. He's laughing right now. And I know I'll be texted later tonight. I got one of these for you too, bro. I was going to send you one tomorrow. Now I've let that cat out of the bag too. What might an intellectual goal look like? For example, well, an intellectual goal might be a godly intellectual goal, a professional goal, a personal goal. Intellectually, it could be read 1 book a month in my profession. 30 minutes a day reading news releases in my profession. That could be just intellectually some of the things, or just anything that'll help you grow. It could be reading a book. What does physical look like? Do I have to tell you what a physical goal might look like? how you eat, how you exercise, how you even entertain yourself sometimes. Would it be wise to have some physical goals, perhaps? This afternoon, I did not at all feel like exercising. The enemy has been going full bore on me today. Full bore. I mean, guns a-blazing. The last thing I want to do is push-ups and burpees. Can you relate to that? Dennis, can you relate to that, bro?
Go play racquetball.
Racquetball. There's the racquetball man.
Yeah, right.
But one of mine is a minimum 3 days a week, 45 minutes, minimum. Usually I make it 4. I said, I got to bust it, and it helped. I'm much more relieved now. I would have been really mean if I didn't have the exercise before I got here. Spiritual goals, you know what they can be. The meditation, the prayer, the Bible reading. We don't have to start with you guys there. The relational goals, though, is something we don't really focus on enough. Unlike you two are, you love birds. But, one of my relational goals is a minimum of 1 Brenda day a month during the week. Weekday. Do I make it all the time? No, and I'm reminded. Why? As well I should be. Her love languages, if you like that, she loves quality time, right, and acts of service. So for her, a great Brenda day would be me driving her to whatever specialty shop she wants to go to and taking her out for lunch. That's a beautiful Brenda day for her. It's relational. And so I do all my work around that. Is it nice to do nice things for your wife? Every now and then?
It is.
Guys, I see all the wives say yes. Okay. So, intellectually, physically, spiritually, relationally. It's not hard to come up with maybe one in each of those. The idea is not to fill in every blank. Did you hear me? Do not try to fill in every blank. This is not like a New York Times crossword puzzle. Just whatever works. Whatever works. Professional goals. Well, goodness gracious. That could be financial. It could be strategic, operational, tactical. There's your man for all of that right there. Big Dan, the strategy man. It could be management skills. It could be networking, mentoring, maybe joining a B&I group, whatever. We have to focus on that too much. But then what is activations all about? If you decide to use something like this, when you decide to say, okay, I'm going to put some goals that I can measure. We haven't really talked about measuring goals. We will one time, sometime down the road, maybe off camera. Sometimes there might be things we need to start, stop, or continue doing to make that successful. Give me an example. And all these are based on scriptures, as you see. Activations is be doers of the word, not just hearers. Let's do something. For me, if my physical goal was to get to a certain weight, say when I was 190 pounds, I'm 180 now. Then my goal was 180 pounds. And I could put the physical goal up there of eating. But one of the things I did, and it helped me, I need to stop. See, start, stop, continue. I need to stop eating snacks after 8 p.m.
That's a good goal.
At the beginning, that wasn't easy. Because that popcorn was calling my name, right? But it could be to stop eating snacks after 8 p.m. Or to start. Or maybe it's something I've already begun. That's good, that's working. I want to continue it. This activations are just little prompts that can help you complete all the other categories. You can use them or you don't have to use them. But this is at least a map that is available to you if you so wish. And what I offer to you is that if you want to fill this out, because you can type it and save it, remember? If you email it to me, I'll get back with you with some feedback. Just say, oh, you may not want to think about this. I'm helping disciple you create your own discipleship map. All right, I'll offer that to you. That's the first step. Friends, that's really what we had to share tonight. Because we're still kind of at the beginning of a new calendar year. And before we lose traction on what we might want to accomplish the rest of this year, why don't we do this Either, as you see in the top right hand, you may want to do it for the year, for the quarter, for the month. I typically do mine for the quarter. You may want to do yours for the month. I've coached people that do them every week. Update them every week. Whatever works. All right? So, if we are to disciple nations, we better start discipling ourselves first. If we're going to disciple nations, and once again, this is not the only way. You find what works. At least maybe this will give you a start. All right. So all of you folks on Facebook, I encourage you, download that, share it with your friends. No cost, no obligation. If you find this helpful, if you want to share it with your family, with whomever, that's fine. That's fine, because I got my copyright on the bottom down there. I got my name, and then they can find me if they're interested in other types of things, right? Is that helpful to anybody here tonight? I'm seeing a few folks going, yeah, they're already starting to fill it out. Well, after we shut down now, what we'll do, we'll have some time, we'll just fill it out. You may just we'll take the night just to see what your discipleship might look like. We'll just start that process. Friends, thanks so much. We'll see you next week. All right, here we go. Let's start your discipleship map.